Hello friends, welcome to Linden-Linthicum United Methodist Church. I'm going to think again with you today about another one of the devotions from this book, Good Enough. It's one that our women's group were considering, we were all considering together, and it's called The Reality Show Gospel. And it's called that because the authors have noticed that a number of reality shows have people in them that say things like, everything happens for a reason. They say that often enough. It's kind of become a phrase that gets tossed off. When something bad happens, everything happens for a reason, and something really wonderful is going to happen later, but we can just figure out what the reason is that this bad thing happens, and then this wonderful thing will happen, and that's kind of the reality show thing, right? That something hugely wonderful always comes. And then they reference in this book that there is something in the Bible about this too. Do you remember the story of the book of Job? Job was a good guy. He was minding his own business, taking care of his family and taking care of his property, and all of a sudden it was all gone. His health, his family, his wealth, everything that he had was gone. And his friends came together with him to try to figure out what was the reason. If everything happens for a reason, what was the reason that everything had happened to him, all the things that had happened? And so it says in this book, and it's absolutely true, that the best thing that they did was for a week, they just sat in silence with him. Wonderful. That's a good thing to do when someone is hurting, just to sit in silence with them, just to let them know you're present. You don't have to do anything, you just have to be. Just be present. But then they started talking, and that's where it all fell apart, if you know the story. But at the end of this chapter in this book, there was this suggestion that made so much sense to me. Sometimes when we're working with somebody or interacting with someone who's really, really hurting with something, and we really want to help, we truly do, we would do anything for that person to ease their pain. And we say to them something like, just let me know what you need. I'll do anything to help you. Just let me know. I'm here for you. Just tell me. That puts a real burden on them. This really addressed me to hear that. And so the suggestion was this: practice saying to someone who's really having a hard time, practice saying, oh, I'm so sorry. Then let yourself think of all the fixes that could be suggested, but don't say them. That's where the friends of Job got in trouble, right? When they said the things out loud that could fix the situation. Then wonder in your head, what can I do, but not out loud? You know they don't need the pressure. When you ask someone that question, what can I do? Sometimes it does add pressure. And the suggestion is just to do something. They say this, just say, I'm coming your way and I have something that I'll drop off. Now sometimes you think, well, what if I don't do what somebody wants? What if the thing that I drop off is not what they need? What if they really don't want me to drop anything off at all? But that little gesture just means a whole lot, even if it's something that you can't necessarily access or use yourself. Somebody took the time to do something for you when you were hurting. And so you take the time to do something for somebody else when they're hurting. Someone told the story as we were sharing with this about somebody that they didn't know that well in the church who showed up with a gift of baked goods on a rainy night just because they knew that this person had had some surgery and just needed a little TLC. Lived by herself and could use a little TLC. So somebody stopped by and brought some baked goods. Now it doesn't matter if it was her favorite thing or not. None of that matters. She remembers it so well, and it's been years, and she remembers it so well because that person took the initiative Didn't say, I'll do whatever you need, just let me know, but took the initiative and made a gift. How can you make a gift of yourself to someone who's hurting? We all know people that are hurting, and we would do anything for them. And it would be great if we had a prescription which says this is the thing that would be the perfect gesture. But we're not always going to have the perfect prescription. And sometimes what we need to do is just go ahead and do something out of compassion, out of love, out of caring for somebody else. It will matter, I promise. Amen.